Okay, before we get started, let's get the legal stuff out of the way. This account was created to provide information on how current immigration laws apply to certain factual scenarios. There are many people, I suspect, who are nervous about their immigration situation, but they're not sure if they should speak to an immigration attorney. Keep in mind, and I cannot stress this enough, that immigration laws are extremely fact-specific. So if I go over something here that sounds nearly identical to your family's situation, you should still talk to an immigration attorney to get a full assessment. The smallest factual differences can completely change the legal analysis, so keep that in mind. That said, this is not legal advice. I'm merely doing this to help provide some information to help educate people on how the immigration laws work, because I know there's a lot of anxiety in certain immigrant communities. One more thing before we get started, immigration laws, procedures, and how those laws are interpreted have already changed quite a bit in the last few months, and they are likely to change quite a bit moving forward. So while the information that I'm giving here at the time of recording is current and accurate, something could change in the weeks to come or even tomorrow that make it completely outdated. So that's another reason to talk to an immigration attorney on your own to get the right assessment. Okay, let's get started. This one's a detailed one. So this woman came to the United States from Mexico in 1995 via the San Ysidro-Tijuana border. She was 25 years old at that time. She was not caught at the border this time. In 1999, she returned to Mexico to attend a family member's funeral and attempted to re-enter the United States 1 month later. She was caught at the border by CBP and was fingerprinted, then released back to Mexico. She attempted to re-enter a few days later and crossed without getting caught. She has lived in the United States ever since. In 2002, she married her husband and they had 2 children in 2003 and 2009, both born in the U.S. Her husband did not have legal immigration status at that time. He entered the United States in 1999 and was never caught, and he never left. Neither the husband or the wife has any criminal convictions. They both have worked illegally in the U.S. for over 2 decades. Now, in March 2001, her husband's sister, who was a U.S. citizen through naturalization, filed an immigration case for the husband so that he could eventually become a lawful permanent resident. The family wants to know if they can legalize the parents' immigration status. All right. So this is a 245I case. 245I was created in the late 90s to create a pathway to legalization for the undocumented population at that time. So essentially, if a petition from a family member or from an employer was filed before April 30th, 2001, that would forgive unlawful presence in the United States and illegal entries, okay? So that's why the sister filed for the husband in this case. Filed that in March of 2001, and that grandfathers him in so that eventually he can get a green card. So he has a couple of options. One is that he can wait until that petition that the sister filed becomes current, which probably is current right around now. When a sister files for a brother or a sibling files for a sibling, those cases, if they're from Mexico, can take over 20 years to process. But that case likely right now is current and can process. Another option, if they want to avoid potential retrogression of dates on that, the daughter, who is, I believe, 21 years of age, they had a child born in 2003, so that child would be 22 years old, approximately, 21 or 22. That child could petition for them as well, or at least the husband, okay? So those 2 options are available to the husband. The wife's case is different, okay? Even though she could benefit from the sisters filing for the husband, she lived in the United States from 1995 until 1999. So remember that in April of 1997, the immigration laws changed. So if someone lived in the United States illegally past April 1997, and then they left the United States, and then they came back illegally, that causes real problems for their situation. So we know that she was caught at the border in 1999, okay? So that most likely will be on her record. And of course, if she's honest when she applies for the green card and says, I lived in the United States from 95 until 99, that's going to cause problems for her. Okay, now whether the government knows that she was in the United States during that time period, that's difficult to say, and I'm not going to get into that. But her situation is different, and it's mostly because she left the United States in 1999. So the husband has a viable case. He can process his green card. The wife most likely cannot. We probably want to do Freedom of Information Act requests for the wife so that we can see what the CBP, the Customs and Border Protection documents look like for that 1999 incident at the border. We would do an FBI, we would do an OBIM, biometrics request, just to see what exactly happened in 1999, okay? This one is very complicated. If your fact pattern seems anywhere close to this, definitely talk to an immigration attorney just so you can get a full and accurate picture of what options would be available to your parents or to you moving forward. Okay, good luck.